My name is René Lopez, and I served in the United States Navy as a naval officer from May of '95 until January of 2000. My career in the Navy was different than most, I'll just say. So I actually took a delayed entry, so I got my commission in May of '95, but I took a 3-month delayed entry for the nuclear program, and the Navy allowed me to take a delayed active. So I didn't go active until August, and I wound up spending 2.5 months, 3 months in Germany working for the German government doing research there at a nuclear site. I wound up going active in August of '95 and going to school first at the Navy Nuclear Power School, NNPS, out of Orlando, Florida. So I spent 6 months at the Power School, and then went and graduated from there. And it is an arduous program. Anybody that is past the nuclear power school, I tip my hat to. I survived it, and I know those that survived it had to sacrifice a lot. It was a very, very hard time, probably the hardest time I've ever had in my entire career, and actually in my whole life. Then 6 months at Navy Nuclear Power Training Unit in Charleston, South Carolina, which is a hands-on prototype, they call it actually, where there's 2 moored submarines there that they're active nuclear plants that you turn valves, check pipes, take chemical samples, and basically help operate a active nuclear plant on board a submarine that's moored there. So it's 6 months of training there. Long story short, I wound up getting out of the nuclear side and wound up going and recruiting in Phoenix, Arizona for 7 months while I waited for my next duty station. And I recruited out of at the time was called NRD, the Navy Recruiting Division, out of Albuquerque, but I was stationed in Phoenix, and I recruited there for I think it was about 7 or 9 months doing officer recruiting. So spent some time here back home, which my family is in Phoenix, and that's when I got married. And I got picked up for cryptology. So that's when I went in April of '97. I went to Pensacola, Florida for 3 months for CDOC, which was the Cryptologic Division Officer course. And so spent 3 months in Pensacola learning how to be a cryptologist. And then from there, I went to the Naval Security Group activities in Fort Meade, Maryland, which is an Army base. But I was stationed in the NSA proper, inside the office in the walls of the National Security Agency, doing special operations for the Cryptology Division for the Navy, being a Cryptologic Division Special Element Officer. Any military deployment from any family, it's not just the sacrifices that we have to make about being away from our family and kids. I wound up having my daughter born in '98 while we were in Baltimore, and going and deploying my wife, my children, my parents, grandparents, they all sacrificed being away from me, and me being away from them too, and that we all experience, and especially with in the Navy when they're deployed and forward deployed, it can be very long. So the fortunate part I had was I was a writer, so it was we kind of flew in for the mission, and when the mission was done, we flew away, and the submarine or ship would have to kind of drive slowly back to port. So that was one advantage I had. Again, we all make a major contribution, and I thank my lucky stars, not only to just live in the best country in the world, but that we have a volunteer service, that there are hundreds of thousands of men and women out there that are willing to sacrifice and be a Marine and be a soldier and be willing to go into a metal can, underwater, which a lot of people also, they look at that and say that's something that would not be for them. I do that job so that the options are out there for others. And we all have a role to play in all of the different branches and all of the different communities within each branch. No, I'm very happy to see the city, with previous leadership and with the current leadership, with Mayor Harkey and the current council, helping and allowing me and Councilmember René to push for the completion of the Veterans Memorial. So personally, what it does for me is it shows the commitment that our city has and the acknowledgement of all of our citizenry, that we not just acknowledge all of our veteran service members, but showing honor and recognizing the sacrifices that they had to make. Not just the ones that served short time like me, but those that served a lifetime or gave their life in service of our country. It shows that it's hard to put into words, but it provides us that sense of pride and humility that our sacrifices are not in vain.